Hi, welcome to the next episode of Road to Wrap. I'm sure you saw over the internet all these cool designs wrapped on fancy cars, right? I'm also sure you wrapped one or you're going to, but have you ever wondered how they are made? In today's episode, I'm going to talk about the technical aspects of designing using the 2D software. Let's go. Our example livery will be my private car, well, actually my wife's car. And with this one, it took me a little while to figure out what the design will be. At first, I was trying to design some sort of abstractive, futuristic livery, but the problem was my wife didn't really like it. So I was okay, I will leave it for a couple of days. And I can clearly remember that it was Tuesday and it hit me big time. And I was like, okay, this is it. Very simple but catchy comic book design. And I was so happy about it that it took me about like 1 day straight to design it. And what's the best part of it, the most happy of our all was my daughter. Now let's dive into technical aspects. Beside a good idea, it's very important to have a good mock-up of the car or the template. And without those, it's very hard to do it right. But there is something else too, which on top of all is the most crucial part of the whole process, proper measurements. When we talk about the proper measurements, we mean that all of the key sections have to be measured with the highest accuracy possible and then put into the software. So we can be sure that the design will be 100% perfect with our car body. The dimensions we will need are rocker panels corner to corner, bonnet middle from edge to edge, corners on top, corners at the bottom, trunk between corners if possible, or when not, rear lights, roof edge to edge in the middle, between corners in the front and in the back, bumpers corners to corners. It doesn't really matter what software you're going to use. The only thing which matters is the end result. So use what feels right for you. It's that simple. My software of choice is CorelDRAW. Maybe it isn't the most common tool for the things I do, but it was always there for me. My father used it in his sign-making company. It feels very intuitive, scaling and resizing bitmaps works great, and it doesn't eat CPU. You already know how to properly measure the car and how to apply the numbers in the software, but there is something more to it. Car is a 3D object. Software is 2D, and that brings difficulty to the table. The joint sections like bonnet versus front fenders, bumpers versus fenders, and or trunk and bonnet. These car body parts are most of the times raised, pushed out or in, collapsed toward the edges. Let's imagine flat sheet of vinyl rolled out on the car. The installer will either has to stretch it a lot or slightly shrink it if the vinyl will allow him to do so. And all that has to be taken into consideration. You will have to figure out how much the design has to be press-shrinked beforehand, so when stretched it will match the joint sections perfectly. Where to redesign or replace the graphics, so when wrapped on the body, it will fall in places as planned on delivery. When I design, I do all I can to not complicate installer's job. When you're both installer and designer, your work is much easier in my opinion. If you are designer sending files to the other side of the world, that's your 50% of responsibility to make the wrap successful. The other 50% belong to the installer. You have to take all of the information from the previous points into the account. That's a huge part of the experience, which is a must to become a good automotive graphic designer.